It's Monday morning. EURUSD is retracing in towards the upside after the government shutdown in the United States has ended, causing gold to push up higher and the dollar for now temporarily to depreciate in value. Good morning, guys. My name is Fabio, and as always, every single day we analyze the major dollar pairs and, of course, gold, with gold currently pumping. Now, I'm going to explain what my vision is here on EURUSD and what I am going to be looking trade-wise for this week. By the way, guys, my apologies for last Friday. The audio of the market outlook was not working properly, but it should be all good now. Now, looking here at EURUSD, we can still see that the overall swing structure of euro against the dollar here on the daily time frame is bullish. We have a swing low positioned here, we have a swing high positioned here, and right here at the top we had a break of structure in towards the upside. Now, the market over the past few weeks/month has retraced all the way back down into discount pricing. It's taken out the last liquidity low, and this could now signal that the market is potentially ready to continue pushing up higher in towards a new higher high. Because if you zoom out on EURUSD, you can obviously see that we are still in a very clear bullish trend where we have higher highs and where we've been forming higher lows. Now, based on this analysis, you would obviously be looking for a long here on EURUSD. However, what we always look is time frame alignment. So we want the time frames to align. And here, yes, on the daily time frame, it might look good for further upside. However, if we look at what has been going on for the past few weeks, we can clearly see that the overall bearish trend is still in control. Here we had a supply zone in control. Here again, we had a supply zone in control, and once again, we are now within a area of supply that is currently in control. So within this overall gray box, I'm still looking for another further downside push, and as long as that gray box holds, we're still looking for short positions. If that gray box were to break and we break this high together with the free monthly open, and we pass through that, and then we start seeing a retracement, this could, for example, become our demand zone, which is then relatively strong because it liquidated a low, and from there we could then be looking for some future long positions once again. Now, looking at the 4-hour time frame, what is then the position ultimately that I'm looking for? Well, what we had here was a break of structure in towards the downside. We have this here as our overall swing structure. Now, for myself, there are a few areas of supply that I am currently monitoring, with this here being my main area of supply, the 4-hour supply zone, together with a liquidity high positioned right below it, which we already grabbed and which caused an overall retracement back down in towards the monthly open and in towards this overall area of demand. Now, from this demand zone, the market is now pushing up higher again, and I'm still looking for further short-term upside. I'm going to be monitoring how EURUSD reacts to this area of supply, as if we, for example, push in towards there, we would then have a 4-hour fractal low positioned, for example, here, and then I would be looking for a break of that, the retest, and then I would be looking for further short positions. If we do not see a reaction within that supply zone, then let it push up higher, and then I'll be looking at the next main liquidity high, which is this high over here. And then from there, I'll be looking for a 4-hour change of character to then monitor a potential short position with my stop loss above the overall swing high. So these are currently the two positions that I'm eyeing up on EURUSD. Until then, not ready to trade it myself. And for short term, upside is still then in control, and we could still see some short-term longs in towards the upside play out. Now, you might be wondering, Fabio, why are you looking then for a potential short on EURUSD? Well, that is because the dollar index is still very, very bullish. Overall, the dollar index obviously has seen an overextended move in towards downside from January all the way back down into April, after which the market started to slow down within an overall 1-2 fake out on the second low pattern, which is also known as a descending channel. Now, these descending corrections are often a sign that the market is ready to reverse, and more often than not, based on probability, do I know that it is very likely that we're going to be moving in towards 102, which is the very first high of this overall descending pattern that we have here. Now, with the overall market structure still being bullish here, we can still expect that the overall internal trend will hold, and that we will still see that further upside. What I'm currently monitoring here on the dollar index is that the fact that this here is my swing low, this here is my swing high. We have a clear area of demand positioned right over here within the green box, or the gray box, excuse me. And from there, I'll be looking for the 4-hour change of character to look for my potential first long position. If we do not see any reaction within that area of demand, I'll let the market just continue pushing down lower in towards this main liquidity low here, from where I'll be happy to take a little bit more of an aggressive trade, stop loss beneath the lows, targeting that overall 102 level. That will be then my next main position, with a little bit less confirmation, as that is the final / end boss area of liquidity, which should push the market up higher as if we look within this overall impulsing towards the highs, the main bump in the road is obviously right over here. So if we then take out that low, that for me should be enough fuel to then provide us with the next push in towards the highs. So that's what I have for the dollar index. Short term, still some downside, at least back down in towards this demand zone. And obviously the ultimate confirmation would come if we then see a V-shape reversal up, break the monthly open, form an area of demand, and then we could look for another long. That would be the first position I would take. Let's say we do not see any bullish change of character at all, no market structure shift. We just see the order flow hold, then let it just hold in towards the overall main liquidity low. Okay, so that's what I have for the dollar at the moment. And then moving onwards into AUD USD. So AUD USD pushed up higher again, actually. Not going to lie, we could have been maybe a little bit more aggressive on this. I know some of you were looking at this based on what I shared. Still, it could have been a nice setup, just not a setup that I like taking personally. But still, congratulations if you are in. Here we had a break of structure clear in towards the upside. Here we have a swing low. Here we have a swing high. Then what happens within the overall impulse in towards the highs? We take out the final liquidity low right over here. What happens? We see a drop in towards the downside. Then we see a reaccumulation phase, which is also known as demand, and then we see an impulse in towards the highs. This is a classic drop basing structure, rally structure. Then what happens? The market comes back down in towards that demand zone, and from that demand zone, the market then starts pushing up higher again after providing us with a 4-hour change of character right over here, pushing the market back in towards the highs. Still not a very favorable setup in my opinion, but overall market structure did align, and we did take out some significant liquidity lows. And the dollar pullback still made sense, which we are currently seeing from the overall highs. You would have just been in some drawdown over last week if you did hold on to that position. Still, obviously, the real move hasn't happened. Let's see what happens now within this overall area of supply. For me, Aussie dollar is still slightly unclear. However, on the short term, it still does look good to head up higher based on the dollar index and based on the overall market structure that we saw here on the daily time frame that I just explained. Now looking at GPUSD, GU is pushing up higher as well. This is a good thing. I would like to see higher prices on GPUSD before getting involved again. Overall, what I'm looking for is the retracement in towards significant liquidity. Now, the overall market structure here is from this high in towards this low. So what I'm looking for ultimately is still a further impulse in towards the highs, a deeper retracement before looking for any new potential trades. I would like to see the overall, let's say, daily liquidity high over here get taken before looking for any significant short positions back in towards the downside. Now, I'm still ultimately bearish on the pound. Also let's say in 2 weeks time we have budget decisions in the UK, which should put further pressure on the pound. But we could still see some short-term upside. So let's keep an eye on that, okay? For the rest, I'm not really seeing anything personally besides, some short-term longs. Those could play out back in towards the highs if you just follow the overall order flow towards internal liquidity highs, such as this one over here, for example. But that is what I will be looking for mainly. So I'll just be looking for the short position. That's what I'm currently just waiting for, in line with the overall pro trend. Moving on, what we have is NZD-USD. So NZD-USD obviously made a massive sell-off. We're coming near the yearly open. I'm looking for a pullback trade in towards the highs. Based on what I can see here, we've now seen a 4-hour change of character happening over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a nice pullback / retracement start further in towards the upside. I do see short-term longs being able to play out here, definitely with the first liquidity high being positioned over here. And then obviously some more liquidity being resting over here. So I'm looking for a steeper retracement back up towards the overall monthly open for now on NZD-USD, especially now that we've come back in towards the region of the overall yearly open, which is an extremely strong level for NZD-USD. Now, you don't need to tap it to absolute perfection because these opens are often, or can often, simply be seen as a zone. And then you can see that we've pretty much come into that yearly open zone, which again is a natural area of support. So I'm looking for this to, short-term, provide us with further upside before looking for any further downside. You could look for some short-term longs on NZD-USD. Then going into USDCHF, USDCAD, USD and Gold. USDCHF, for me, slightly unclear. Not a pair that I'm really actively looking to trade at the moment. We've seen a break of structure in towards the downside occur over here. Swing high, swing low, markets retraced into premium pricing, so above the 0.5 fib, though we have not yet taken out major liquidity over here. So for me, I'm not favoring a short just yet. So I would still need to see higher prices before looking for any shorts. USDCAD, what can we see here? We're coming into an area of interest now. This is not a long position that I'm actually taking at the moment, but I am monitoring because we've now retraced in towards the monthly open, which is a significant liquidity low. A little bit lower, we also still have a significant liquidity low as well. With the overall trend here on USDCAD being bullish, I am favoring the next upside push to happen soon. We're now also in discount pricing, so let's see if USDCAD can slow down a bit. We're in a strong area of demand due to the fact that it liquidated a significant low and rejected the free monthly open. So this overall sub for the buy has potential to push the market up higher. So let's keep an eye on if we do see any bottoming out kind of price action in the form of 4-hour change of character. The most significant low is going to be this low over here of around 139.767. So keep an eye on those lows. And after that, we could start seeing an upside push once again. USDJPY continued up higher, with the yen basket being extremely weak. So the Japanese yen is still extremely weak. Mitchell called this inside Discord. If you missed this, make sure to be inside Discord because, again, we called this for the downside. Obviously, the yen has been weak as hell, causing us to look for example, USDJPY longs. However, USDJPY longs, the initial longs, which came after the change of character here, did not play out due to the dollar giving a pullback and the yen also giving a pullback up higher. So liquidated the early buyers over here and is now pushing up higher. I still expect further upside from USDJPY. If it does retrace down deeper, I'll be looking for longs from the equal lows here. But it already has the potential to continue pushing up higher with the weak yen, especially in towards one of these significant highs. And then approximately from the yearly open, that's the only moment when I'm going to be looking for a short position. Until then, only look for longs on USDJPY, as it is just very simply said, extremely bullish with the impulsive pullback phases. And now again, it could potentially be in its impulsive phase to put in a new higher high. And then gold, I was bullish on gold since last week, especially with the government shutdown now over. Gold is even more bullish because they're expecting potentially some poor data to come out on the dollar, pushing gold up higher. We've now broken out of this range, so I'm now looking for a pullback and just further upside here on gold throughout the rest of this week. In towards the end of December. So yeah, still bullish on gold. Thanks guys for watching. As always, wish you all a fantastic trading day. Any questions, let me know inside Discord. Thanks.